Bitcoin holders, get ready. Big move is about to come. And altcoin holders, well, altcoins are staying steady. So let's take a look at what's going on with altcoins as well. Welcome to today's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency news. I am George. It is August 19th, and we're only a few days away from something big. So thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, appreciate your support. Make sure you hit that like button, hit it as much as you can, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of my live streams. All right. So let's start out with Bitcoin today. So Bitcoin took a little dump. Actually, last night it dropped $500 out of the blue. I went to work out. I checked my phone and I'm like, WTF? Okay, but then it started recovering and now we're 99.23, so slightly below 10,000. As you can see at this point, we're only $232 away from yesterday, and there's no need to panic. No, there's no need to panic at all. If anyone is still panicking over a 200-point drop, then yeah, you haven't been in this game long enough. But this is what we're looking at. This is what I made my thumbnail. This is what everyone is showing. BTC is in this wedge, pennant, triangle, however you define it. But we've been stuck in here for a long time, and we're nearing that apex. It's getting calmer and calmer as we're getting squeezed by the upper and lower line here, and we're building up to something big. And in my opinion, that big movement is going to be up, and I'm going to explain why. Now, I do think that the price of Bitcoin is so stagnant or so stable at this region, and why we haven't broken up yet is because of this. And this is what's coming. Back is coming September 23rd. Now, most of you guys already know this. This is only 4 days away. 4 days away until back, something we've been waiting for over a year, to open up, and then we're going to get some Bitcoin futures. We're going to get daily and monthly futures that's going to be settled in Bitcoin. Now, the daily ones aren't so interesting because if you think about it, the daily ones are just people are anticipating, okay, what is the price of Bitcoin going to be by the end of the day or tomorrow, right? So there's not going to be that much movement, but the monthly ones will be the ones that everyone will be watching. Because if someone, all of a sudden, let's say this opens up, someone puts in a monthly contract saying, you know what, I think Bitcoin's going to be at 15,000 by October 23rd. Okay, that's saying something. And the more that people put into it, the more faith that people will have at that price. So I think the monthly contracts, once it comes out, that'll be a real telling story in terms of what people see. And since everything is backed or settled in Bitcoin, it will have a direct correlation. If someone puts in, I don't know, $100 million into a long contract, let's say for October 23rd for Bitcoin to be 15, 16,000, that means something. Okay, that means that amount is actually being put into Bitcoin. It's not settled in cash. It's not, it's not just everything is done in cash. This is going to be huge. So this is the reason why I think the price is so stable recently and why altcoins started exploding. But that is coming in 4 days. So I don't think we have much to wait. That should be having effect pretty soon. And those of you guys that are looking at charts, there are some good positive indicators too. So stochastic RSI, I'm on the daily chart. Stochastic is nearing bottom. RSI is nearing to a point where we have seen some rises, and that is like right here. We saw it when we hit about 9,300, went back up. Same thing over here, about 9,100 went back up. So you could see the lows are clearly getting higher, but so are the highs. The highs are getting lower, so it kind of looks like a triangle to me. Some people are saying a wedge, a descending wedge, which is bad, but it also really, really, really looks like a bullish pennant. Because take a look at this rise, and then you have this, and then usually the pattern after this is boom, you go straight up. But I think this is all leading up to something big, and that is backed, and we won't have to wait much longer to find out. But what about altcoins? Okay, so with Bitcoin's drop, altcoins certainly did go down, but does that mean altcoin season, everything that we've seen went away? No. Altcoins are actually holding relatively well. You could see BTC dominance is still at 67.3%. It didn't immediately go back up to 70%. It went up slightly, but overall, the altcoin gains that we have seen for this week and some for last week has held, especially in something like Stellar, which continues to hold at this is amazing. It's at over 8 cents. Yesterday went up as high as I think 8.5 cents or something like that. But remember, yesterday went up 30%. And today, the fact that it's still holding and it didn't drop 15% and wipe all the gains, that's pretty significant. And same thing with a lot of these altcoins out there, even though like XRP is down 6%, Litecoin's down 3% or 4%, EOS down 5%, but they've held a lot of their gains. Only last week, EOS was at 320, Litecoin was at 66, Ethereum was below 200. So it doesn't mean that this temporary altcoin spike that we've seen has gone away. It just means that everything has sold off at an equal rate, and that's why BTC dominance is still holding. But I do think we still got 4 days until backed. I do think that there's still time for altcoins to gain momentum, and we'll see what happens after backed. I think it's going to be tremendous for Bitcoin, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, what else helps with this? Well, take a look at what's going on, at least in the U.S., behind the scenes, and it's not pretty. It's not. Yesterday, everyone was waiting for the U.S. Fed to announce if they're going to cut interest rates, and they did by another quarter point. So they already did this in July. They cut it a quarter point out of the blue. And now, 2 months later, they're cutting another quarter point. And why are the Feds doing this? To prepare for an economic slowdown. Because they do think there will be a slowdown. And they need to cut rates right now to get people to start borrowing money. To put more money back into them. To basically the whole ecosystem, right? So this is what they're doing. This is what every country around the world is doing, because guess what? We're going to go into a slowdown. We're going to see a lot of central banks start printing out money at an exponential rate and cut interest rates. And you know what? This is all leading to something that's not good. Not good for the world, but I do think this is going to be good for Bitcoin, because I do think that people will finally start treating Bitcoin as a true safe haven. And what relates to this is this. I showed you guys a story how the New York Fed just pumped in 53 billion, okay, yesterday out of the blue, and people didn't know why. And they poured in another 75 billion today. Think about it. That's $128 billion they put it back into the market in the course of 2 days. 128 billion. That's almost the full market cap of Bitcoin. That's how much the New York Feds pushed back in within the last 2 days. And why did they do that? Well, in relieving funding pressures. So this is all leading up. The world is slowing down. Okay, despite the stock market still holding and doing relatively well, bond rates continue to go down. Negative yielding bonds still continue to go up. And you're starting to see Feds and central banks decrease their rates and start increasing money or print money, because everyone thinks the economic slowdown is coming. And I also do think this is positive for Bitcoin. Once and for all, we'll see if Bitcoin is a hedge. A lot of smart people go on TV, say that Bitcoin is a hedge. People will put money into it when there's a global slowdown, right? And we have seen bits and pieces of it because Bitcoin is non-correlating. But we haven't had a true test Okay, and this time around we will see, and then that will once and for all prove if it's a real hedge or not. And I think this is positive. All right, now moving on. What else is there? Let's talk about a few Litecoin. I mean, not Litecoin. A few altcoin news. Everyone's fears about EOS are proving true. Now, this is an article, and I don't think it's wrong, but this has been going around for a while. Now, EOS obviously one of the big caps, top 7, and there's always been fears about centralization. And now we're starting to hear like true concerns about it because most of the BPs and voting happens with block producers in China. So people are afraid of that. There are vote buying, and a lot of the block producers that are getting all these rewards that are supposed to be developing tools and bring new dApp makers, incentivizing them and all that stuff, right? That's not happening. So you're actually starting to hear about some of the really good technical block producers that are actually leaving EOS because they're not incentivized enough, because all the incentives are going to the ones that have the majority of tokens, and they're the whale block producers, and they're kind of just sitting there collecting EOS and not doing anything with it. And according to this article, this is actually really surprising that there was a vote on here we go. There was a vote that was supposed to be agreed upon, but somehow it was disagreed. The block producers didn't come to a consensus. So $167 million worth of EOS in a savings account that was meant to spur up new tools, improvements, dApps to improve the ecosystem. Because of the lack of consensus, basically, it was burned off rather to go to fund development. So EOS does have problems. It does, but Brock Pierce, he went on this, and I watched this one before, so I kind of knew what this article was talking about. But he's saying, it's still young. EOS has only been out for a year. They're still trying to figure things out, but they do have legit concerns. But do I still like them? Yes. They are still one of the projects that have a lot of funding. They are out. They are a Generation 3 coin. From technology standpoint, they are still one of the leaders. But they got a lot to figure out with governance and incentives and all that stuff. But it does sound like they're working towards it. But it is still early. But I just wanted to share this concern with you guys. Now, what about Litecoin? This story is not so much Litecoin as much it is a story for Celsius Network, which I have covered before. So Litecoin is going to take their funding in the Litecoin Foundation, just AKA Charlie Lee's bags, and he's going to be storing it with Celsius Network. And Celsius Network is a lending platform. Basically, you could store your Litecoin or Bitcoin or stablecoins and earn interest, and in reverse, people can borrow it and pay interest as well. So Litecoin is putting faith in Celsius Network. So I think this is more good for Celsius because it shows that they are trustworthy. Otherwise, Charlie Lee wouldn't be putting his stash with them. So just want to mention that real quick. What about Ethereum? So Ethereum, their capacity is starting to get limited or tested, and the fees to send anything on the Ethereum network has increased dramatically. It went from 11 cents to now 39 cents. And according to Coin Metrics, as of September 15th, Ethereum users paid as much in daily transaction fees as Bitcoin users. Actually, a little bit more, 185,000 versus 182,000. Now, according to this article, most of it is due to Tether. All these transactions of Tether being bought and minted and burned and being used. This article says that this is the reason why Ethereum is starting to get congested. And Vitalik said that he is underway to improving network performance and reducing transaction fees. But what's interesting is someone posted this and did some research on Reddit and shows that 6eth wallets approximately accounts for 42% of the gas used on the entire network, just 6 wallets. And this guy's asking, well, who is doing this? And someone answered that this is one of the fastest growing Ponzi schemes on Ethereum network, shared in Chinese social media and blogs. And basically, it's BitConnect. You deposit a number of ETH and you collect rewards. Okay, but they only pay out 70%. So they're only paying out basically because new users are joining. Eventually, when new users stop joining, well, the whole thing collapses. And that is the reason why these 6 wallets are using 42% of the resources. So yeah, I mean, Ethereum, I think we all know they have trouble scaling. They need to scale. Okay, even though this Ponzi scheme is utilizing 42%, you got to think that's only one dApp. Okay, that's one dApp, and who knows how many people are using it. So if we're expecting a dApp to be used globally by millions of people at a time, well, ETH certainly can't handle that. Well, very little blockchains can handle that. So we definitely want to see Ethereum scale. Ethereum 2.0 can't come fast enough. All right, what else is there? Lastly, this is not good news. People have asked me about Zilliqa. And I couldn't figure out why. Zilliqa is one of the worst performing coins of 2019. It just keeps falling and falling and falling. Not too long ago, Zilliqa was in the 200 million, 300 million, and it got to 100 million. Now it's at 62 million. Well, I gotta say, this news that I discovered is not good. So the CTO of Zilliqa have just basically departed the project. And that's not it. If the CTO departs, okay, there's some projects where, yeah, that's the case. But according to this, it's not just the CTO. The CEO also quit the project not too long ago. So you got 2 of the guys, the co-founders, and 2 of the most important guys, the CEO and CTO, that have left the company. Now, people are saying that, this guy, Amret, who's the chief scientific officer, he obviously is the chief developer. He's been promoted president and he's leading the way, but this guy right here, CTO, left, and Zin Shu, who used to be the CEO and co-founder, now they put him as a director of board, but he isn't. If you go to his LinkedIn profile, you could see. He put co-founder, CEO of Zilliqa up until May of 2019. And then June of 2019, he co-founded another company called RockX. So basically, he is no longer a part of the project, okay? I mean, they just put him here to make it seem like he's still part of the project. So, unfortunately, when you have a project, I know they're out already. They have their mainnet out, and they still have development team going on, but still, it's very concerning when 2 co-founders of a project leaves suddenly and start their own other project. That means there's problems. So, in my opinion, if you guys are holding on Zilliqa, get out now while you can, because I don't think this is going to improve at all. All right, so let's go back to Bitcoin, and I think that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. Host Beef says another Ethereum killer bites the dust. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough running a blockchain company. It's tough running a business. I remember for my insider group, I wrote about Zilliqa about a year ago, and I talked about the sharding technology and all that stuff. And I remember talking about how Zilliqa's co-founders had the most PhDs I've ever seen. They're all brilliant people, and they all have PhDs. But the one thing I remember saying is the fact that, none of them have any business experience. None of them have ever run a company before. And now, a year later, we see why that's important. So you need to have a good mix, because just because you got a team full of eggheads doesn't mean that they know how to lead a company well and manage money and so forth, right? So That's important. And unfortunately, that came true. Will you stake in any of the four nulls SEO projects, George? I personally don't stake at all. So no, I'm not. But there are four SEO projects that's coming to nulls. Very interesting. And nulls has a new way of participating rather than doing IEOs or ICOs. Basically, you stake your nulls and you get their tokens, these project tokens in return. Really, really cool, cool way to stake. But no, I don't stake at all. So Hastings Insurance Solutions. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's kind of up in the air because Charlie Lee did say he sold all of his Litecoin. And then it was revealed that the foundation, everything that the foundation has is money from Charlie. So does that mean that he sold and gave it to the foundation? Or does that mean he still has some left to give? And what is he giving to Celsius Network? Well, the foundation. The foundation is giving to Celsius Network. Obviously, it's not dollars. It has to be Litecoin. So, did Charlie really sell all of his Litecoin? That is still a question mark. I'm thinking no. I'm thinking no. He had a lot of Litecoin. If you look at the block from the very first Litecoin block and all the way up to like I don't know the 10,000th. It's all going to Coinbase when he was working at Coinbase. I mean, there was a lot of Litecoin mined early on by Charlie. So I really doubt he sold all of it. Larcy, I appreciate that. I try to keep it interesting, try to mix things up so it's not the same content every single day. And take a look, Ethereum is actually going up right now. So that's why I said, this mini altcoin season that we're seeing, it's not done yet. It's not done. We still got 4 days until back, so we still got 4 good days where altcoins can still gain on Bitcoin, and then afterwards, it's the Wild West. We'll see what happens. Does Bitcoin start exploding up, which I think it will, because we've been here. We're to go do something like this. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll see. Crypto Lifer asks, George, I see a lot of people either on the XRP train or BTC fans. Why can't most people hold a both? Why do XRP fans think BTC has to die? That's a good question. I don't know. Chris, thank you for that. A lot of people, you got Bitcoin maximalists, which basically hate everything except Bitcoin. And then you got XRP maximalists. Right? I don't know. XRP maximalists are the ones that make the most noise. They're the trolls of the world. And they basically troll anyone that doesn't like Bitcoin. Doesn't like XRP. And a lot of the maximalists are diehard maximalists that believe that XRP will go to $589 or more someday. But it sounds very much like Bitcoin maximalists who think Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million someday, right? So who's wrong? There's nothing wrong with that. You could believe in both. I certainly held both in my portfolio before, so I don't know why it has to be one or the other. So as long as you're not a maximalist, you can like both project and hold both projects. There's nothing wrong with that. Loco is a partner with Chainlink. Well, yeah, doesn't really mean anything. Chainlink obviously can be partners with a lot of projects because they're an Oracle system. So they allow blockchain projects to communicate with the outside world. So it's very easy for Chainlink to hook up with a number of blockchains. It would not surprise me if Chainlink hooks up with EOS, with Tron, even nulls. Any blockchain protocols could hook up with Chainlink relatively easy. But some, and Neo too. Neo's looking at Chainlink. Because a lot of these projects, they were going to develop their own oracles, and then they're like, what the hell, since Chainlink already has this system, why not utilize it? Jellam Poon? No, I actually do hold XRP. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I was one of the first ones to actually say positive things about XRP. If you go back in 2018, when XRP still didn't have so many XRP diehard fans or Maximus, I said, you know, if you research XRP and what Ripple's trying to do with it, I actually like it. I like the premise. And then throughout 2018 and 19, I started rethinking. I'm like, how could the price go up, you know, if no one's holding it? That's where it spurred some controversy and people started saying, you don't know what you're talking about. XRP is going to go up through the moon, and so forth. I'm just trying to think logically, you know, how XRP is going to reach $589. And it doesn't seem very likely, but I still like what they're trying to do. Doesn't mean that I don't like what they're trying to do from a technology standpoint, but from an investment standpoint, a little more wary. Okay, Jack, stop shilling Zcash. I get it. Hey, look, we're at 10,000 again. Woohoo! So, this is why I was saying at the beginning of the stream, do not be panicking, okay? It will come back up. And we're going back up pretty good, 10,025. You know, we're going to stay in here. And then we're going to be in here for a while. And something's going to happen in 4 days. And I think it's going to do this. I think it's about time. We're gearing up to that. Back is coming. Everything is leading to it. The global recession is coming. This is going to be very positive. Oh, look at this. We're going up pretty good. 10,081. So what negatives? We're going to be at the same point as yesterday, so it's pretty good. 589 definitely can happen. Yo, George, what about BTC USD shorts? A big jump yesterday. Let's check. It's a pretty good jump, but it's still relatively low compared to some of these points before we had a big dip, right? But it's a good observation that it is going up. Sometimes when we see this happen, when it's nothing but ups like this, it's not a natural up. You see people on Bitfinex, they play those the short contracts, and it just doesn't work the same way. You could settle off books, and maybe they're going to do something like this once again, although we are still relatively low. So, but interesting pickup. We'll have to watch that. What about Bitcoin longs? Bitcoin longs steadily moving up. You can see actually a wedge formed here. ETH is moving good. You could see on a daily, okay? On a daily, it's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 straight days of up. Wow, did Ethereum just jump up tremendously since I started, since a few minutes ago? Yeah, it jumped up $4 or $5 just in a few minutes. So Ethereum is definitely looking good. Short term, it looks great. It broke above the EMA 21. On the 4 hour, it formed a golden cross, which is very nice over here. So Ethereum is definitely looking pretty good. And a lot of altcoins are looking pretty good too. And you can see on the 4 hour, how it's utilizing the EMA as a support, and that's what you want. When you're trading and you're looking at coins that's very hot, you always want to utilize the EMA 21 as a support. And you go down. You could go from the day to the 4 hour to 1 hour, 5 minutes. If it's utilizing it as a support, that's a very positive thing. That means there's a ton of momentum behind it. And that's what you see. Look at it. The 4 hour bounced right off of there. So Ethereum definitely has momentum. But will this continue? Will this continue when BAC comes out and Bitcoin starts flying? We will see. If Bitcoin does not go flying, let's say BAC comes out and it's very, very stable, and it doesn't do anything, it just stays at 10,000 and nothing's happening for a while, then I anticipate this altcoin season, mini altcoin season, will probably continue because people are sick of waiting for Bitcoin to go up. They want some action and they're putting their money into altcoins. So I do think that's going to continue if we don't see anything from BAC. Mothra, I appreciate that. Thank you. What's next on my car channel? Well, I just posted a Civic hatchback, a Civic Sport hatchback, and that was a really, really fun car. I'm gonna post it in the comments. I didn't have time to do so, but that's a really nice car. Those of you guys that want a fun little hatchback that is actually not small at all, and it's really, really comfortable. Take a look at Civic hatchbacks. ABBC coin. I don't know what ABBC coin is. It is traded. BitHum, BitMax, BitForex, definitely on a lot of big exchanges. The future of payment securities, okay, are exchanges. Ooh. So what do they do? Okay, so our founders envision a better solution for the current e-commerce woes, such as slow payment, hefty transaction fee, limited. Okay. We present different solutions which will make online shopping and digital payments fun, secure, and easy. We're mainly in Dubai, UAE, Minsk. Nevertheless, we have this, okay. All right, so ABC coin is basically a coin that is meant for shopping. Well, it's just basically, it's going to be a currency, right? It wants to be a currency play. Obviously, they're targeting shopping malls, shopping stores, retail stores. Reminds me of Encash, except they have held much better. But the thing is, without looking too deep into it, whether the team is good or not, there's so many currency plays out there. And of course, the biggest one is Bitcoin. Will all of them survive? No. Which one will be the dominant ones? It's too early to tell because there are so many. So I'm just going to say I'm neutral on this one. It's not a new concept. There's so many companies that's doing the same thing. But the fact that they're holding at 100 million is pretty impressive because a lot of altcoins have fallen much lower than that. Everything is pumping. Let's see. What is Bitcoin at again? 10,053. So still about $100 off from yesterday, but we're definitely coming up. On the 4-hour, you can see after this dip, the RSI was pretty low, below 30. Stochastic has now changed favor, so it looks like we're probably going to hover. Maybe we can bounce off of here. That'll be 10,500 or get close to it and probably settle down again. But anyways, we're waiting to see what happens when we go here, right? Like, boom. That's what we're waiting for. Why do people get so mad? A lot of altcoiners, they want to see altcoin season. They're happy when altcoins go up. And then you got Bitcoin maximalists that just want to shut them down saying, no, it's not altcoin season. You're an idiot. You're a dingbat. Why? I mean, who cares? Who cares? Everyone is making money. So why not be one big happy family? Just like if you like Bitcoin, you can also like XRP. It doesn't mean it has to be one or the other. If altcoin season happens to come, great. If it doesn't come and Bitcoin season's still here, great. If both goes up, great. So why get so mad about it? I don't get it. But anyways, all right, so it's that time to end the show. Overall, there's big things coming for Bitcoin, so I think we all have to be ready. I think Bitcoin holders have to be ready because we are nearing this and something big is going to happen. And I believe that something big is going to come in 4 days, and that's going to be backed. And we'll see what happens after BAT comes out. We hear so many things about the hash rate. As you can see here, hash rate is going up to the moon. Why are the miners, throwing so many ASIC miners out there? Are they anticipating a big move? Yes. And besides that, you got feds around the world, central banks that are trying to, throw their weight around, trying to make sure the globe does not go into recession, which is looking like it's going to happen. And I think that's also positive for Bitcoin. So big things are about to come. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit. and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I promised yesterday, I had an important message about XRP that I forgot to share, so I want to share it now. And have a good rest of the day. Take care, guys.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.